Hey, what's happening everyone? Jesse here in the studio, and I have here on my desk a package from Westcott. So I was sent this package here, and I'm excited to open it up and sort of dive into what it is and actually put it to use here in the studio with you today. And so I want to do a little bit of an unboxing, a little bit of a demonstration, and talk a little bit about the product itself, because I've heard about this product for a while now, and to have my hands on it, I'm excited to kind of dive in and see what it's all about. This is the Westcott Fusion light control system. It's a 10-in-1 system by Cincotta. Diving into this, especially I do a lot of work here in the studio. This is great for on location as well. However, I'm excited because I do a lot of stuff here especially, and you know, I love to see what I can do with this system here in the studio, because all the versatility, all the many options you have, when anything can act as a 10-in-1 and fit into a small 28-inch travel case, I think I'm all about learning about that product. So let's walk through it together. There we go. Perfect. So off the bat, they give you a nice little lighting gear guide here, and that's going to just kind of well, showcase all the different products that Westcott does offer in addition to this Fusion light control system. So this will be great to look through later on. And you know, right off the bat, the box is pretty sleek. The design of it, I know it's just a box, but presentation is everything in our industry, in our world. So you know, when you impress right off the bat with the packaging, that's always a good sign. So here are the contents on the box. It says we're going to get the Fusion frame, which is a 4-foot by 6-foot frame. Now that's going to be awesome, because that's going to give you really great coverage, especially if you're using it, let's say as a diffusion or even as a bounce. This 4x6 is going to cover pretty much anyone that you're photographing pretty evenly. You're going to get the silver and sunlight bounce panel, so that's going to be two-sided. You get the black and the white panel. You'll also have a full stop diffusion panel, which is awesome. You're going to get a dual speed light clamp. So I've actually seen this used where you're able to mount some lights right up against it and use that as a shoot-through. Or you'll also, in addition, you'll also get 3 ground stakes with the storage bag and the travel case. So if you are working out there on location, that's going to come in handy. If you don't have an assistant, you're going to want to anchor it down to the ground somehow. So that is why they include that in there. All right, so let's pack this open, and then right off the bat, I see an awesome 28-inch travel case. Perfect. So, yep, right on there, the nice branding, Westcott Fusion, Salvatore Cincotta is on there. And you know, if you think about, especially as a photographer, if you travel a lot, you go on location a lot, this, the way it is, compact, just now, all packed away, is going to be perfect for storing in your car without having to worry about, you know, being overwhelmed by storage space. All right, so right inside here we have, looks like our different panels. First and foremost, this is our silver and sort of gold zebra side with the cutout. We got the little window here that we can plug in. We can either shoot through that, which is pretty awesome, or plug it if we want to just use it as a complete reflector. Now we have these little sort of anchors in the corners here, or grommets, if you will. I'm not sure what the right word is, but that's going to attach to each of the corners of the frame once we have that built out. Let's go right into here. So really nice kind of straps here, Velcro straps to keep this frame in place. Always good packaging, as expected from Westcott. Just from the looks of it, it definitely does look like it should be a pretty easy, you know, sort of assembly. I think it's designed to be that way, and I would hope that it is, just because of, you know, the way we're always on the go out there in the field, and so we need something that's going to be quick and easy to set up. So, you know, sort of I'm going to take an attempt here without kind of reading any kind of guides, if you will, but we're just going to kind of open each of these outwards here. Okay. And now I'm assuming that we're going to use this middle portion here to perhaps secure any other bracket. Now underneath here, there's another storage compartment, and that's going to have all of our additional fabrics, okay? So here we have, looks like perhaps our one-stop diffusion panel. We have a black, that'll be good for flagging or subtracting light. Inside here is going to be our cold shoes, and also another kind of clamp here, another bracket. And so 2 cold shoes come in here, and then, like I said, another bracket as well. Continuing just to dig through the bag here, we also have the support for, that's going to go onto the middle here, and then that's going to allow us to have this stand up properly. So we'll go through the assembly in just a minute. And I believe these are going to be some stakes. Yep, I think these are going to be allowing us to anchor into the ground if we needed to. We won't be using that today, so I'll keep those in the nice pouch here. But that's going to be awesome, especially, like I said, you don't have an assistant and you're working on your own. There's one other piece in here, and I guess this is going to be the back to this apparatus here. It's going to lock in place. It's got the kind of the graphic on there, lock and unlock, to make it nice and easy for you. And so we'll lay that out. Okay, so everything has a place in the bag. Everything has a compartment, which is really awesome. I don't think I'm missing anything here, so we should be good to go. We're just gonna open this puppy up. We're gonna put on our back support here. Make a nice little mess in the studio today. All right, so first things first, I think I'm gonna come in here and go ahead and try and lock this down. Okay, got that kind of locked in place, so these aren't gonna be able to close on us. And then I believe we're gonna go right in here, tighten this down. And then this here will change the angle, allowing us to stand freely, okay? Make sure this is nice and tight. All right, perfect. All right, so I moved the table out of the way. Gonna make it a little easier to kind of put this together, and we're gonna go ahead and extend these legs fully out on all 4 ends, okay? And then we'll grab our panel that we're deciding to use. Again, I'm gonna just start with this silver and gold. Just put the gold side first, and let's hook up to each of these corners here. Nice and easy. So once you get down to the bottom, you do get a little bit of a tension, which is very good. Obviously, we want that to be nice and tight. And here we are, fully assembled. Aside from our little square panel. Let's see, where do we put that? All right, here we go. So again, this window here is awesome because you'll be able to shoot your subject through that. If you're getting a nice direct sunlight, or even if you're using your strobes, you can bounce off this and shoot right through that, maybe even get a really nice catch light. But if we did want to close up that window, we just have that panel there. That's easy to make it a complete surface. So obviously we have some ability to change the angle here if necessary, using that leg that's in the back, okay? And that should be able to help us adapt to different terrain, especially if we're outside. And again, we can change the height here to change our angle, which is awesome. It's really great. It's very super light. You know, being that this was my very first time kind of putting it together, it did take a little longer, but I can see that now that I have gone through it one time, each and every time beyond here is going to be super easy and quick. So really great thing. I think we should just go dive right in and start using this. I'm gonna shoot a couple of portraits here of a young man, and we'll see how each of these different sides can handle sort of my workflow here in the studio, and check out the results of that. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, so before we get into the shooting portion, I just wanted to reiterate, I hadn't fully opened the other packages with the diffusion and the black panel. So just real quick, this is our one full stop diffusion side, which is going to be perfect for creating beautiful soft light. And then the other was the black panel, but of course on the opposite side of that is going to be the white side. So we get the opportunity to either cut or subtract light, or we'll have a nice white side to give some nice soft bounce light in to our subject. So excited to put that to use. Let's get going. We're going to notice how we're using an LED light here and there is no diffusion. So picture the same if you were using a small strobe. You're getting a lot of hard shadows. So you can see the hard shadows on the backdrop and of course some on his facial features as well. We're going to bring in the Fusion light control system with the one-stop diffusion panel. And we're going to place that right in between the LED light and our subject, and you can just see the difference that it makes. We'll do it one more time here. If we remove that, get the harshness. Now, of course, you're putting in a one-stop diffusion panel, so you will have to adjust your exposure accordingly if you're going to take a frame without it, and then with it, obviously, one stop. So make sure you make your exposure adjustment, but you can see just how beautiful that light is now with that panel in front. Okay, so we're starting off with some portraits here of Alessio, and he has only a hard, small light source hitting him right now. So harsh light, very hard shadows hitting the backdrop, and of course on the side, the shadow side of his face. I'm gonna rotate your feet just a little bit, Alessio, a little bit more towards this light, and we're gonna maintain your eye contact to the camera here. Perfect. So we just want to focus in on a little bit tighter of a portrait here. Okay. Now there's nothing really wrong with this. I'm shooting so my settings on the Sony A9 III, and the 85mm here is 1/500th at 1.6, and that's ISO 500. So we're just using that as our exposure. We're not going to talk about apertures, but that's where I need to get to a good exposure with these settings. Now, when I put the material in between, okay, now without changing my settings on camera, we'll take another shot and we'll notice it's a little bit obviously darker. It's one stop darker. So I'm going to switch my shutter down to compensate, and we see this really beautiful soft light. It's such a different light than what we started with. So if you could think about mimicking this particular look, but maybe using a smaller strobe, I think you're going to find this is a big advantage to having a small light source, but wanting that bigger, softer light look on your subject. So really helpful to have this diffusion panel handy in a pinch. And I think we'll move on to the black side next, and we'll switch it up a little bit and go from there. All right, so we'll go ahead and do a quick swap of these. Show you kind of how quick we can get through it. Okay. Okay, super easy, just a matter of a couple of seconds. All right, so here we put on the, well, the white side is showing, but we have the black panel installed. And basically what we're gonna do is show you how bringing that in can deepen the shadows on the shadow side. Right now we're just shooting through a modifier onto Alessio. The light is pretty good. I'm gonna have you face straight onto me, good. But he has a very even, beautiful wrap of light around on that side of his face, so there's not much dimension, if you will. And so if we bring in our Fusion light control with the black side, I'm going to bring that in. We might block Alessio's view a little bit, but we're cutting in close on his shadow side there. And we're going to take the same portrait, good. Perfect. And then we're going to be able to see the difference just from bringing this in. We're not getting any kind of spill light. We're not getting as much wrap or bounce. It's really just giving us a deeper shadow on that side, which is really nice. It's an easy tool to use in order to kind of sculpt the face a little bit more, sculpt the body. We're getting deeper shadows on the arms as well. And another use for this could be potentially if you were shooting, let's say, just with that single light source again. We get nice light on Alessio again, but we're getting also a lot of spill on that background just because the light is kind of close. So if we turn that side towards the light and we get it in close to him, we can manipulate just how much of that light is spilling onto the backdrop. and yet still hitting him. So you find the right sweet spot and you'll be able to, I'll show you an example of how I shot it earlier, but you're gonna be able to see that the backdrop gets just a little bit darker, and that can be helpful, again, just using it as a flag to kind of control that spill to unwanted areas in the portrait. Next, we'll flip over to the white side, and I'll show you how that can come in handy as well. All right, so we have the white side attached this time, and basically we're demonstrating sort of how you can utilize that to get some nice fill light. Okay, so I moved this main light off to the side a little bit. I'm going for a little bit more of a split light look on Alessio, okay? And then what we're gonna do is move this white side in opposite of the light. Now, obviously the closeness that you bring this to your subject, the more bounce you're going to get. So we'll start with it just a little bit further back. Take another shot here. Perfect, and then I'm gonna move that in just closer and closer. Okay, and another shot. And one more time, we'll get in just about as close as we can get, just so it's out of frame. And we'll take one more. Perfect. So I think you're gonna see varying degrees of the amount of fill light that have come in to the equation here just by utilizing that white side, and especially comes in handy when you're using light that's positioned more off to one side, and you might be getting deeper shadows. Again, I said if we cut the light here coming in through the window, I think it'll be a little bit more dramatic of an effect, but more or less you bring that on the opposite side that you're trying to fill the shadow side on, and it's going to give you a nice little lift. Now here we're sticking with the white for this next example, and I'm showing you, the versatility of this system is you can actually go ahead and use this as just a regular backdrop itself. So if you're doing, let's say, just a headshot against a white wall, but maybe there are no white walls, but you have your system with you, pop it open, get it like nice and close to your subject. We have a small strobe just firing into that to kind of get it to illuminate nice and white, and we have our key light, boom, and you'll be able to see just like that. I've been able to achieve a nice white backdrop, especially for tighter portraits and headshots. It's great to have that as an option in a pinch because you never know when you need it. All right, so we're almost all the way through the different options here. We have the sunlight side up, and we're gonna demonstrate, I've moved the light sort of coming in behind. So we're just trying to emulate maybe the sunlight. If you're outside, you're shooting a wedding or a portrait, emulating that light coming from behind your subject. So it's not the most ideal. We're gonna need to either fill it in with another strobe, or in this case, we're gonna use the sunlight bounce to kind of get a little bit more light in the face. So here, we're gonna make sure we turn this completely away from Alessio. We're in again, nice and tight. That light's coming from behind him, okay? And so obviously, when you see the picture on the screen, we have deep shadows in the eyes, and we have a nice light coming from the back, but we don't have the punch we need in the front. So the great thing about this is with this particular panel, we can open up the square up top here, and that enables us to shoot right through it. So we're getting this nice light bouncing from what we are, again, emulating is the sun, hitting this panel here, coming right back towards Alessio. And then you're gonna be able to see the difference between those two portraits, and we've completely filled in those shadows. We've evened out the lighting, and we've made the best of a tricky situation just by using that sunlight. It's got warmer qualities to it, so you got to keep that in mind. We could do the same thing with the silver side here. So I'll just take this part off, and since it's a similar example, we're going to just switch the opposite side. Now in theory, maybe I could have just turned this around without going through this process since I am shooting a tighter portrait, but we'll do it the right way. So again, we're just gonna change to our silver side. Again, each time you do this, it does get easier and easier. It's a very quick process, which I love about it. Okay, perfect, Alessio. So we're just gonna line that up. We're gonna take that same shot, stay right in there. Perfect, and then you'll be able to see the difference between the gold side, which has those really warm tones, and then when we use the silver side in the same fashion, a lot cooler quality to the light. So that's just an amazing option to have. Obviously, you're not gonna get the cutouts on the diffusion because it doesn't make sense, or the black panel because again, we're trying to flag light. If you'd like to see that silver side, again, in action, we have Alessio looking straight on. We're going to bring this in between, okay? And I'm gonna swing that key light again back around towards the back side to emulate that backlight scenario, okay? So here, take this out, okay? We have those really deep shadows. Position this in place. And now we get that nice bounce. Again, it's gonna be a cooler quality bounce because we are using that silver side, but this is a great thing to have, especially outdoors, especially if you're shooting even more than one person, because the amount of coverage you get from the 4x6 is pretty incredible. So I hope just seeing some of those examples helped you out, understand exactly what this kit can do. I love that it's so lightweight. It's so easy to assemble and disassemble as you switch through the different panels. I love the option of having that opening there to be able to shoot right through. You know, I can definitely see this coming in handy, not only as it did here in the studio, but definitely outdoors on location, especially when you're battling really tough lighting conditions. This is gonna give you a great opportunity to kind of fix those in a very easy, quick way. Now, I didn't have a chance to use the speed light brackets, but I think just by demonstrating how that small hard LED light source shooting through that diffusion panel became such a soft, beautiful light source, I think you'll be able to do the same thing if you're using a smaller strobe, even attached to those brackets. I don't think it's 100% necessary to have them attached to the brackets, but I love that they're included. And also I love that they included stakes as well to help secure the light fusion kit when you're out there on location, because you do have to be careful. It is super lightweight, so any kind of strong winds I could see potentially causing an issue if you don't have that secured down. So definitely good that they included that once again. Overall, my thoughts, I love using this system. I'm excited to have it as part of my kit. I plan on using this a lot more out on location once we have the opportunity. Out here in New York, we've been experiencing such high levels of heat. An amazing heat wave has come through, and really we haven't been doing much outside at all with regards to shooting between the thunderstorms and the sun. It's been tough out there. So as things, as we approach the fall and things get a little bit nicer outside, we'll definitely be taking this out and doing a lot of cool stuff with it. But those are my thoughts on it. I'm gonna pack this away now in the bag, which I think is great to have it be so compact once it's all put together. And they really did a great job, Westcott, at designing this. Sal Cincotta as well. You could see his input really come to life through the sort of the build behind it and the ideas behind it coming from the mind of a photographer. I think that's important. So thanks for checking in, and I'll see you guys on the next video.